You know, when you were younger and all your teachers and your parents always said, stop playing video games, those things are going to melt your brain. And then you're just in your corner saying, I just want to play my games, they're fun, they're probably even helping me. But no one ever took you seriously because how can a video game, something that's supposed to just take up time, just be fun, entertainment, how is that actually supposed to be helping you? Well, today I want to show you a little bit of research that's been out there showing actually the benefits of video games. Yeah, you heard me. You could keep playing your Super Mario 3D World and you could keep playing your Minecraft and Fortnite because you're probably actually benefiting a little bit from it. Now, I don't want to discredit saying that all video games are good because there are some pretty weird ones out there. But if you do play video games responsibly and in a really compelling way, then you're probably going to benefit from video games. So there's a lot to learn about in terms of video games, and today I want to show a little bit about the benefits of video games. So most importantly in video games is the concept of functional brain mapping. You got to look at the parts of the brain while you're playing video games. Usually this is done with either big MRI machines or even functional MRIs, but even you could go into more molecular approaches looking at specific hormones and neurotransmitters. And we're going to dive into a few regions in the brain that are actually impacted in the brain. If you ever play 3D video games, you know what I'm talking about. That Fortnite, the Minecraft, the Mario 3D World, those type of games are actually shown to have probably the best benefit in terms of your visual spatial skills and your coordinated learning and things like that. So what they found was that your prefrontal cortex and your cerebellum and your striatum, which all coordinate in terms of motor planning and in terms of procedural memory, all those areas are actually benefited by playing these type of games. Constantly using these brain areas actually lowers the amount of time you need to use these parts of the brain when you're doing something that requires procedural learning. That's been coordinated with actual efficiency in using your brain. That means even though that you're not using your brain as much, you're doing the same amount of tasks, meaning that your efficiency is going up. You actually don't need to use that much brain power when you are compared to someone that doesn't play 3D style video games. In terms of problem solving games, like Tetris, those type of games, especially puzzle games, those activate a different set of brain regions. Strategy games kind of fall into this too, and this requires using a lot of information that's in front of you to come up with a plan. So that uses your frontal lobe and it uses your secondary somatosensory and motor and things all that, integrating things together inside your brain to come up with a plan, to come up with future predictions. And that's basically what the brain is. The brain is a prediction machine. It takes in information from your surroundings and it spits out through a complex algorithm basically to figure out what's best to do at that moment. And there's always that argument about kids these days are not that alert, they're not really paying attention. But if you look at patients that have high video game, especially 3D based video game playing, their amygdala is actually quite responsive, and the amygdala is used for alertness. The amygdala is most typically used in terms of fear responses, but it's also a key place for alertness. And people that play video games are actually more alert, meaning that their amygdala is actually being trained. Same thing with the hippocampus. The hippocampus, most notable structure in the brain to some people, is the memory center. It's used for consolidating memory. And the hippocampus has been shown to be strong, especially in terms of problem solving and also visual spatial skills, looking around in different areas. You get more information and you got to keep track of all that. Consolidation is going to go up while you're using that information. Now, it might not go into long term, but the more you play, the more that hippocampus is used. Maybe more will be consolidated, maybe more will go into your long term memory. But certain games are actually very beneficial in terms of understanding the real world. If you look at Minecraft is actually very cool because it integrates a lot what we know of the real world into the game. And it's very eagered towards young children. And that makes it a perfect platform in order to learn about things that you might not see every day and also integrate things like computer languaging into a game that might be able to be applicable into the future. If you know Minecraft, there's ores, there's animals, there's biomes, there's different sort of properties of materials, and then also there's different gravity and physics mechanics, and all of that is awesome because you get to learn so many different aspects of science, so many different aspects of the world in a fun way. Now, obviously not everything is accurate to the smallest degree, but there is some cool stuff in there. Redstone is some people don't even want to touch it when they play Minecraft. But redstone is pretty cool because it's basically engaging like what a computer does. It's an on-off signal. It's basically kind of like a wire, but then you could create like redstone torches and comparators, and you could integrate all that with mechanical stuff like trapdoors, and all of that gets integrated into something like so crazy. Some people build actual computers inside Minecraft, working computers that could do simple tasks, and that's crazy. They could also create like music programs and integrate different like sensory things and make it into like a cool complex computer program inside Minecraft. That's why I love Minecraft so much, because it can integrate all these things and help children actually understand basic skills. So next time someone asks you if Minecraft is healthy, I would say yeah, especially if you play it reasonably, responsibly. It could help you with a lot of things, especially if you're young and you don't know much about the outside world. That was a little shade to the gamers out there, but you know I love you. Now there's some crazy games out there, more strategy based than what I've talked about, and more coordination based. And the more that you play, the better that you'll become. And you gotta play responsibly. If you play too much, then it defeats the entire purpose, and you become like addicted, and then you lose some social skills and things like that. Those are like way beyond the scope of what I'm talking about, and that happens with addictive gaming. And that can be a very challenging thing to overcome. But if you do responsibly play video games and you keep in mind your limitations, there can be a lot of beneficial things that come about video games. So I urge you to think about the skills that you learn while you play video games and how that might implement into your real life. With that being said, please do check the description for the paper that I referenced to, and please do hit the like button and subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and let me know what future topics you want me to talk about. With that being said, that's about it, so have a nice day. Bye.